Okay, so we're doing the first draft of our NPCs. So we've got a bunch of information here. We've got name and attack. We've got various tags. We've got hit points, armor, description, instinct, and this is something I may have misinterpreted in my first pass, but we'll see what it looks like on my character sheet. So I've created a character sheet that looks a bit like this. Well, just not a bit like this. This is what it looks like. We've got but all this information. The one I've got a question on is monster tags, and I'm not sure if monster tags is another basically couple of simple string descriptors, comma separated, like organization tags and size tags seem to be, or if it's what I've got down here as actions. And I'm beginning to suspect that these, what I've described as actions, because I couldn't think of what else they might be called, may actually be monster tags, which means I would get rid of monster tags and I would move this to the top and rename it monster tags. So let's have a look at the rule book, and we'll see my reasoning here. So what it does in monsters, it talks about monster tags, and we've got size tags and organization tags. They're pretty easy. And then monster tags, and we've got things like all these single keywords: magical, devious, amorphous, organized, and I'm not seeing those in my monsters, but I do see stuff like this, which wasn't really described, at least in my previous readings of it. We do have things like special qualities, burrowing, special qualities, flexible, and so I've got a field for those as well. So what we'll have a look in the rule set wizard and see what we've done there. So firstly, of course, I've started with the NPC frame, and I've created a new frame here, and it's got quite a dark header, but you can see the header is pretty much constrained to the top. It's not as long as the previous ones, but it's very dark. So what we've done here is, on the name, I've used font color white, and probably we're going to make that a bold entry there. Now, we've also got, obviously, the link icon, so the window class name needs to be NPC, and we've got something we haven't looked at before, at least in this rule set, is we've got an object here called token, and token allows you to drag and drop a token, and that token will be used on the battle map. We've also got a field on here where we can add an empty icon, and again I've added an icon for that called icon blank NPC. Have a quick peek at that one. Okay, that's what it looks like. So it's a round circle with a little bit of a white trim in distant side, and we've got a dull red profile pic on it. And then we've also got the lock icon and our close button. We've got some code on the window class itself where we're doing the lock code. So we're going to lock the name. Possibly we should also lock the token, and its name is imaginatively token. And we also, this script here, the where we, if content and content subwindow, then content subwindow to update, and we've got a subwindow here called content. So it's running a function on the subwindow content called update. So we'll have a look at NPC content, and we've got a bunch of info here. So we started with a string field, string field, string field. These are all the same, and I've got an idea for this that's been percolating, and it's to do, it's kind of like the NPC attacks in some of the D&D rule sets. When you move your mouse over them, they're comma separated. When you move your mouse over them, they highlight, and that becomes interactable. So I'm thinking how I'm going to try and write that script, and also how to implement it. We've got our first window list here, the attacks one, and of course these are all set to can grow. So we've got stacking with controls set for pretty much all the fields. window list, of course, our window list is attacks underscore list. The source is .attacks list, but our buttons here have got the window list name in them, attacks underscore list, and they're also at field for the target. So we've got a field for hit points. Hit points is pretty straightforward. You get to 0 hit points, you're dead or at least out of the fight. Armor doesn't make you harder to hit. Armor reduces damage. Special qualities was another tag, and tag is probably something we'll hear more of as we go forward. And then actions may in fact be monster tags. I will make further inquiries and do more research to determine that one. And then of course description. Then we also just check these fields and we can see that we've got a lock entry for each of them. I do need to do, there's another locking script that you do for Windows where you get all the sub-elements and then lock all the sub-elements in a for loop. So we'll do that at some point. Alright, I think that's it for the NPCs. Now, of course, this video is only 6 or 7 minutes long, but it took me much longer to think through these, work through the rules and try and work out what's the right field or content type for each, and then how to deploy it, what order to do it. And it's the first iteration. It will very likely change. You know, obviously we've got already a question here between monster tags and actions. Oh, and of course we've also got the window class types for attacks. We've got NPC attacks and we've got a different one for actions. So if we have a quick peek at NPC attacks, at the moment we've got a link which may disappear because I'm not sure that we actually need this attacks, whether these should be redraggable or not. We've got a name field, we've got a damage field, a role icon which may or may not last till the final cut, an attribute. Some of these are just placeholders for the moment. I just duplicated a different type of role or window class to use as a base. We're probably going to need a field here for piercing damage, and also one for ignores armor. So we'll need some icons or number fields for those. And much the same for NPC actions, which may become tags, right? So we go back and have a quick look at the table. We can see all of these down here. We can see our number. Okay, we've got a problem here with this underline. Is obviously not correct here. I need to fix that up. The number field here, this should actually be a dice string. So if this was like 3d6, keep 1, you know, just keep the highest d6, etc. So this is the first draft, but I think we've got most of the elements down here and a little bit of tweaking to go. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you're finding this useful.